Welcome to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders on 1240 Radio WOMT.
And welcome to Fine Living right here at 1240 Radio WOMT each and every week, presented by Jim Reif Builders, exclusively here on 1240 Radio WOMT. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Terry. Good morning, listeners.
How are you, my friend?
I'm real good. Yourself?
I can't complain. It's the middle of January, the middle of winter, and time is flying by, but we're having fun.
Yes, we are.
There we go. Jim, today we're talking about granite versus quartz and the difference, the pros and the cons, and things like that. And so I guess let's dive right into it, because there's a lot that we could talk about here today.
You bet, Terry. We get a lot of inquiries about kitchen remodels, and the question usually comes up about granite versus quartz products. So I thought we'd talk about that today and give the pros to them and give the cons to them, so that people can get educated and make their decision.
Okay.
So
granite. Let's start with granite.
Yeah, let's with the granite there. It's typically a little bit harder surface. Not that quartz is soft, but it's a harder surface in general. What I like about it, because I have it at our house, is we can actually cut right on it. So if, I like BLTs, so I get my tomato out and I can slice it right up there, right on the granite, right next to the sink. Take a little paper towel and swoosh all the juice.
And you're not going to damage it.
And not going to hurt it whatsoever.
Really?
That's the cool part about it.
Okay.
So that's really neat about it. You can also put hot items on it. So if you're boiling some sweet corn on the stove or you're baking something, you can pull right out of the oven. Again, set it right on the granite. No hot pad needed. It's a stone. You're not going to hurt it.
Okay.
It's usually a little bit less expensive than quartz, is one of the other pros for it. Years ago, they didn't have the technology we do now. You had to seal granite every 6 months. It was kind of a little bit of pain, but you don't have to do that anymore.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, they came out with sealers. Typically, they put a seal on that's good for 15 years. So none of that a yearly maintenance that's required to it. And one of the other neat things about granite, it's got natural beauty. You get to pick out your stone, you get some veining in some cases, or just some really beautiful colors that nature's created. It's going to be hard to replicate that by man-made product.
Okay, a lot of great pros for the granite. What about the pros for the quartz?
Okay, quartz is a man-made product. It's typically a very similar thickness. It is fairly hard, but you should not cut on it. Okay. So that's one of the things that you have to worry about.
Do a lot of cutting in the kitchen,
right? But in general, some of the pros to the quartz is that typically, if you have to seam something together where there's a joint because of the size of the stone or the size of the counters, you get a nicer seam. It's definitely harder to see. It's a little more uniform in look, so if you don't like the wild look to some of the veining of granite, quartz is maybe a route you want to go because it's more uniform. And it's also a little bit less porous because it's man-made, so it's going to clean a little easier.
Okay. Seems like there's a lot of pros for both of them. Let's kind of flip it and maybe why someone wouldn't do granite.
A few of the cons to granite, the seams are a little more noticeable. Not that they're bad looking, but you just see it a little bit more. You should typically wash or clean it a little bit more, especially if you're doing like red wines or tomato juices and stuff like that, a little more acidic products. You want to wipe it off sooner than later so you don't distort the sealer.
Okay. Quartz.
The cons to quartz, as I mentioned before, is cutting on it, and also you should not place any hot items on it.
Okay.
You should also be careful with certain appliances like crock pots. You may want to put something below the crock pot because the heating elements on the bottom, it could warm it. If you have a lighter color granite, it may change the color a little bit.
Okay. What about the installation on either granite or quartz?
Great question, Terry. Basically, what we have is we'd have to come in and disconnect plumbing if it's in a kitchen or a bathroom. We would have to take out the old counters. That same day, we have our company come and template it, and then in about 5 to 10 days, you'd have your new product back installed.
Okay. Well, it seems like you can't go wrong with either one. Just depends exactly your budget and the look of what you're going for, whether it's in your kitchen or bathroom. So you won't be disappointed either way.
Both are great products. I think they're great for opportunities for people in their kitchens or bathrooms.
Jim, if people are looking at maybe doing a remodeling project in their bathroom or their kitchen, or obviously a new home construction, Jim Reif Builders is the place to go. Where can they get a hold of you?
They can call us at 684-6899. We're at jimreifbuilders.com. We've got a great website. And actually, listen to our previous radio shows also.
All right.
And then
they can listen to us all the time.
Hey, there you go. And then they might get sick of us.
Well, not you, Jim.
And then there's also the Facebook. We're on Facebook.
There you go.
You
guys
can
are
see
all
some of
over
our
the
neat
place.
things.
Jim, thank you for your time. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Terry.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders, the leader in new construction and remodeling here on the Lakeshore. Let their vision enrich your lifestyle. Tune in again next week for another episode of Fine Living on 1240 Radio, WOMT. To learn more, visit jimreifbuilders.com.